Hello, my name is Keshwani. There's Keshwani, Keshwani. We are here because we want to prepare for the GMAT. We have been solving GMAT math problems out of this book here, GMAT Review, the official guide, 13th edition. If you do not own this book already, purchase one immediately. You're going to need it. The problem that we are about to solve is the one that you will find on page number 154, problem number 17. Please turn to page 154, page number 154, and today is our lesson number 19. Lesson number 19. Problem number 17 is a very straightforward problem. They're asking us how much is 0.1 plus 0.1 squared plus 0.1 cubed. They just want to know if we know how to multiply decimals. That's what it is. 0.1 times 0.1. 1 times 1 is of course 1, but there's a 1 decimal place, there's another decimal place, 1 and 2, so it's going to be 0.01. 0.1 times 0.1 is 0.01, which of course makes sense because 0.1 is same as 1 over 10 times 0.1, which is 1 over 10, equals 1 over 100, which is 0.01, of course. Similarly, if we were to go multiply it by one more time by 0.1, it's going to have 3 decimal places. If we were to continue here, multiply it one more time by 0.1, it will have 1 over 10 or times 1 over 10 times 1 over 10, which is 1 over 1000, which is same as 0.001. It has 3 decimal places. 1, 2, 3. 0.001. That's all. That's the answer. Oh, that's not actually all. So now we have to add them up. So this is 0.1. This guy is 0.01. So 0.01, and this guy is 0.001. This is 0.01. Add them all up, and that's all. So this guy is right here, and then we have 0.001, and we end up with 1.111, and the answer is B. That's all. Very simple, very straightforward. Let's look at number 2, number 18 rather. That's it. We're done with this one. Number 18. In number 18. The question is very straightforward. It says the initial capacity of something, whatever the hell it is, sandbox, the initial capacity is 10 cubic feet. The question simply is, what would happen to the capacity if, each dimension is double. The question is, if you double each dimension, do you double the capacity? Is that what happens? Let's find out, shall we? Let's pretend. Let's start out with something simple. Let's pretend that we have something which is 1 by 1 by 1. We have a box which is 1 foot wide, 1 foot long, and 1 foot deep. The capacity of this box will be 1 cubic feet. 1 cubic feet, if these were all feet. 1 foot by 1 foot by 1 foot. This box has a capacity of 1 cubic feet. What happens if we double all the dimensions? Instead of 1 foot by 1 foot by 1 foot, if we have 2 feet by 2 feet by 2 feet, what happens to it? The capacity of the new box is 8 cubic feet. It is 8 times the amount. It is 8 times the amount because there are 3 dimensions and they are all being doubled, so it's 2 to the 3rd power, 2 times 2 times 2. For example, let's do something more general. If you have a box, which is x times x times x, these are the dimensions, whatever the unit might be. It could be x feet or x inches or x yard or x meter, doesn't matter what the units are. x times x times x is x cubed. But then if you take each of the dimensions, if you take each of this dimension and double it, you end up with 2x times 2x times 2x. 2x times 2x times 2x becomes 8x cubed as opposed to x cubed. As you can see, we go from 1x cubed to 8x cubes. That's all it is. So in this example, the initial capacity is 10 cubic feet. The initial capacity is 10 cubic feet. The nu is going to be 80. Initial capacity, we are told, is 10 cubic feet. Therefore, the new capacity is going to be 80 cubic feet. That's all. It's going to be 8 times as much, not twice as much. It is going to be 8 times as much. And the answer is going to be D. The answer is D. Let's do one more, shall we? Let's do one more on the top. Number 19. We are told that we have a baker who has 40 dozen donuts. He sells half of them. He sells half of them by noon, and then 80% of the remaining by closing. Question is, how many remain unsold? That's all. I think we're done with this part. This part is very straightforward, very simple. One more time, if you have a three-dimensional figure, like a rectangular box or a cube, and if you double each of the dimensions, so whatever it was, however long it was, doesn't matter, which is why it's x here. It could be however long. It could be 3 feet by 3 feet by 3 feet, in which case this will be 6 feet by 6 feet by 6 feet. Each one of them is doubled, and this 2 gets multiplied by itself, 2 times 2 times 2, which is where we get our 8. So the new capacity is going to be 8 times the old capacity. Since the old capacity was 10 cubic feet, the new capacity of the sandbox is going to be 80 cubic feet. So he had 40 dozen. Half of them were sold by the noon. Well, that means 20 were sold by noon. Then we are told that 80% of the remaining were sold by the closing. So what is 80% of the remaining? 80% of the remaining. Well, the remaining is 20. We start out with 40. He sold 20 of them. He sold half of them by noon, which means he has 20 left over. We have to figure out what is 80% of 20. 80% is same as 80 over 100. Off means times 20. Divide top and bottom by 10, that gives us this 0. Divide top and bottom by 2 again, that gives us this 0. Which means 16 equals 80% of 20. So by 80% of the closing were sold by closing, which is 16. How many of them remain unsold? Well, he started out with 40. He sold 20 by noon, and he sold another 16 by closing. So he has 4 unsold. 4 of them are remaining unsold. And the answer is D. It's a very simple problem, but it doesn't hurt to make sure that I didn't make any kind of boo-boo. What number was this one? Number 19. D. That's it. That's all it is. I will see you tomorrow, okay? These were 3 very simple, very straightforward problems. But as I told you in the beginning, on the first day, they're going to get a little bit more prickly the higher we go in the number. The first 50. Think of these questions as on a scale of 1 to 5. Think of these as on a scale of 1 to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. These are medium. These are easy. Here's your medium, and these are hard. Now the reason I said 1 to 5 is because there are 230 of them. Listen carefully. So 1 through 50 is level 1, 51 through 100 are level 2, 101 through 150 are level 3, they are medium, and then when we get to the hard one, 151 through 200 are medium hard, and when we get to the last 30, 201 through 30, the last 30 questions in the book, they are hell. I'll see you tomorrow, okay? Bye now.